Alright guys, and we are back with Game 5. This one's going to be between me on the left playing a Sword Art Online blue-red deck. It's based around some of the new cards from Sword Art 2 Extra Booster, utilizing the Accelerate mechanic. And I'm going to be playing against Ray, who is using a green and red Fate deck with the Japanese sets. So I'm going to go first, clock the 3-2 Kirito. And start off with a Kirito Runner for 3 damage. Ray takes it. So I'll see if I can remember some of the effects. Okay, so he's going to start off with the level 0 Saber from UBW. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this because the UBW set just came out. That's the one with the Resonate effect. Although I don't think he runs any of the Resonance cards in his deck. I know her other effect is when she attacks, if you have another Master or Servant character on the stage, then she gets a 1500 buff. So he's going to start his attack phase. I'm going to mill 1 card for the runner and run to a safe spot. And he's going to attack me twice. Cancel the first one, take the second one for 3. Back to me. I think I clocked the 2-1 level, or not level support, the 2-1 anti-counter. Did I even clock that turn? Yeah, okay, so clock the 2-1. Draw a couple more cards. And here, I'm going to demonstrate why Elizabeth Suicider plus Runner is so dumb. So being able to run away with the Kirito Runner and then follow up with Elizabeth Accelerate allows you to kill whatever your opponent put on the board for their level 0. And I just think that those 2 cards together are very strong. Also going to play the level 0 Sugaha. She has a bond to the 1-0 Accelerate Kirito, the Seed Kirito, which I'm going to be using at level 1. Now, the reason I put another runner onto the stage here is because I have 6 cards in my hand, I believe. So if I trigger a book, then that will put me at 7. If I didn't play that runner, then triggering a book would cause me to go to 8 cards, and I would have to discard. So I use the Accelerate so I can get over the Saber, and at the same time, the Elizabeth is going to suicide into his other character. So using the runner, I was able to save a character to use on the following turn, and Elizabeth buffed it up, and I got a 2-for-1 off of that exchange. At the same time, if Ray doesn't put a full board this next turn, then I can possibly use my runners to run to that center slot, and once again, just keep myself from losing cards on my board. So now going over to Ray, he leveled up to level 1, levels the green, and he's going to clock the red. Whoa, draws 2 climaxes. Looks like he's got 3 climaxes in his hand right now. Plays the Saber Brainstormer, as well as a 1-1 Lancer. And that's the one with a climax combo. If he reverses my character while the climax is in play, he gets blind stock equal to the level of my character that he reversed. And I think it also gets a power buff. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to double check that. Let me see if I can find it. So, yeah. Plays a Stock Soul Climax. I don't think that's the one that combos, though. I'm just going to mill 1 for the runner ability. He hits me for 4. Last card cancel. So skillful at this game. And his Saber is going to kill my Kirito for 2. And that's going to put me at 1-1. Since I have the blue incoming, I want to level the red, since those are the only 2 colors that I'm going to be using in this deck. Now, I believe my hand right now looked something like Stock Soul Climax, Book Climax, 3 Accelerate Kiritos, and a 1-1 Kirito. So I'm going to play the 1-1. Play a 1-0. So that 1-0 Accelerate is one of the centerpieces of the deck. It's a 1-0 4K. Becomes a 6K if I have 5 or more cards in my hand, which is very easy to do in this deck. This deck is able to generate a lot of card advantage. And his other ability is an Accelerate. At the start of the Climax phase, I can clock myself 1 to salvage the Seed, which you just saw, from my waiting room. And the Seed is a 2K event counter. You can use the Stock Soul Climax. So front attacking here for 2, trigger the book. Drawing a card. So I triggered another book here. I chose not to draw a card because the Kirito is going to, once I reverse his Saber with the effect, that's going to put me at 7 cards in my hand. I chose not to draw a card. And I front attack for 3. Ray's going to cancel that one, and I search my deck with the 1-1 Kirito Climax combo. When it reverses the battle opponent while I have the Stock Soul in play, I get to search for a net or avatar character. Going to grab the level 0 Lisbeth, another very important card in this deck's build. Okay, so I did find the 1-1 Lancer that he was using. When it attacks, if he has the correct Climax in play until the end of the turn, it gets 1500 power, and it gets, on reverse, he gets Blind Stock equal to the level of the character that he reversed on my stage. And his other ability is a startup. He can kill one of his other servant or weapon character. Oh, no, send it to clock. He can clock one of his other servant or weapon characters in order to give the Lancer a 5k buff until the end of the turn. So he's going to play another copy of that 1-1. If he's able to successfully reverse my Kirito, then he gets 1 Blind Stock. First he's going to use the Brainstorm on the Archer. Not going to get anything though. Currently my board is sitting at 6k, 6-5, and 500. And I have a 2k counter in his hand, and he knows I have a 2k counter because I salvaged it off the Accelerate on the previous turn. So he should definitely take that into account when he makes his play. Looks like his hand is 3 Climaxes, and that's it though. So not a good looking hand. Definitely not. So what are we going to see here? Plays a Stock Soul Climax. I'm going to use my runner ability since I do have it in the back row. I just want to mill a card off the top of my deck. He's going to hit me for 3. And then I believe he sides for 1. And that ends up being a side for 3. And that's another Climax now that he doesn't have there. I'm going to level up to level 2. The Seed was the only blue card that was in my clock, so I level that. And I'm also going to 3-stock the Suguha. Since I had 2 Climaxes in my stock, I'm getting low on deck. I'm about to refresh. And I just want to get those Climaxes out of there. I'm going to shift over my characters so that I can kill his stuff. Use the 2k event counter on my Kirito since my hand is looking pretty full. And I want to be able to kill his 1-1 Lancer. I do have the Climax in my hand, so that's going to get me another search if I can kill his Lancer. Stock Soul. Typically the card that I choose to put into my stock with the Stock Soul are more copies of the 1-1 Kirito because they aren't serving as soul triggers, and at the same time it's a 1-1 vanilla if I don't have the Climax, so I feel like that's one of the less useful cards to have going back into my refresh. Ray's going to take a crap ton of damage right here. Taking a whole bunch of damage. Now let's see. He's got 2 climaxes in his hand, and 1 in his stock, which he just triggered. So that means he's going back with at the most 5. And if my math is right, his deck should be, let's see, 6, 3, 9, 14, 17, 20. His deck should be 31 cards. So 5 climaxes and 31 cards, definitely not a good ratio. That's less than 1 climax per 6 cards. Any refresh damage is 1. So he's got 4 climaxes left in his deck. So he's all the way at 3, 4 now. And I am at 2, 2. Now I did get the reverse on his character, on his Lancer with the Kirito, so I'm going to get to search my deck, grab that 3-2 Shinon. I didn't have any in my hand yet, so want to grab that. Plays another copy of the 1-1 Lancer. And also going to use the Brainstorm, try to get some more characters. He needs cards to attack with, doesn't get any. And the only other 2 cards in his hand were climaxes. So that's all he can do. And he has a choice between a Stock Soul and a 1k draw 1. Or it is a 1k draw 1, right? Fate 0 extra booster. What is this? Let me look at this card. When you play this Climax, draw 1 card and all your characters get 1k. Yeah. So, not a Climax that you see every day. It's a pretty old style Climax. I think that's the one that he plays this turn, though. And, yep, it's going to be the 1k draw 1. I'm going to mill 1 for the runner. He's going to hit for 1. At this point, I'm like, wait, what Climax is that again? 1k draw 1? So this is just 1 damage. And I only need 3 damage to end the game. So the play here is the level 3 Kirito. I can play it at level 2 if I have 2 or less climaxes in my waiting room. And when it comes into play, I get to draw 2 and drop 1. And with this field setup plus a climax, 1k1, I have 3, 3, 3. I'm attacking for 3 every time. He's going to cancel the first one. Hits for 3 again. And that is going to be the game. So some pretty unfortunate draws from Ray. Wasn't able to get any characters, kept drawing all those climaxes. And also wasn't able to reverse my characters. So just able to take control of the board on top of Ray's unfortunate luck with his draws that game.